let's real quick talk about the Eliza Bleu thing. Eliza, you got to stop this. Release the claims on these people. You have no reason to claim privacy on any of this. These were publicly published works done with your obvious consent. Sharing a link to a World Star Hip Hop video that you starred in, that you maybe regret now, which honestly, you have no reason to regret. There's nothing wrong with that video. You've said in your interview with Michael Malice, you don't have any problem with people who create pornography or participate in that. If that's true, then you subsequently cannot have a problem with your not even R-rated video that you produced. There's no moral issue with you creating that video voluntarily. It seems to have been done voluntarily through an organization that is pretty well established and rather reputable, World Star Hip Hop, a very large organization. Unless you're contending that World Star Hip Hop participated in trafficking you and you did not consent to the making of that video, that would be a different story and a lot harder to believe. Then you consented to the making of the video. You maybe regret it now because you think it harms your message. Let me just tell you, it does not harm your message to have made a sexy video in the past. That has nothing to do with your advocacy against trafficking. It may, and kind of looks like, it has a lot to do with your personal story of trafficking. That's different. That's wildly different. But I don't know enough about your story to make that judgment or decision. I know a lot of people on the internet are judging you based on that. And they may have a meritorious or valid argument. I don't know. Frankly, I don't give a shit. But what you're doing right now is absolutely, categorically wrong. You are utilizing force from a third party to take down valid commentary and criticism of you and of your movement because you don't like what is being said. You are perhaps engaging in fraudulent activity to do so by misrepresenting the nature of the images in question. By representing that which is public as private, you are potentially engaging in a fraud upon Twitter, which results in harm to someone else, particularly Jeremy Hambley, the Quartering, Brittany Venti, Yellow Flash, other people whom you have targeted for merely sharing a link or a public image from one of your videos. That is an improper use of Twitter's power, and it's despicable behavior, and it will not serve your purposes. It will only amplify attention to these things. And I'll give you an example. Until you started striking these people, and particularly until you persisted in striking them for days, I didn't give a shit about this at all. I didn't care about your video. I didn't care about any pictures or anything else. All I knew was Eliza Bleu advocates against human trafficking, and I'm okay with that message. I was 100% fine with that. The brief conversation that we've had, and I'm not going to overplay it, was very brief, had to do with, I think, some mutuality of opinion around Twitter being a platform that allowed child sexual abuse material on the platform. If I remember right, that's about all we discussed. And from that, I got the impression that I liked your opinion on that, because I am also opposed to Twitter allowing child sexual abuse material on its platform. I'm opposed in general to child sexual abuse material. What you have done with your actions is you have turned people who are generally on your side and in line with your messaging and advocacy against a terrible human condition. and you have made them call into question, you have made them call into question all legitimacy of your message by utilizing the one company and platform that you have been critical of to leverage improper force to cause them harm because you don't like what they said. And that is bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. And your credibility is being shredded by you in that action. My humble, not legal advice, my social media advice to you is immediately withdraw all claims against those people. Say, hey, you panicked, you made a mistake, but you also realize that that video and those images have nothing to do with your message of sex trafficking and it being a terrible thing to place upon a child or anybody else in this world. There's almost no one who disagrees that sex trafficking is bad. You're on fine ground with that. You have a very limited window to scrape together what credibility is left. You should consider that. Because this is a bad look. You look like a bad guy. And from my interactions with you prior to this, you didn't seem like a bad guy. From my observation of your advocacy, you don't seem like a bad guy. So don't be a bad guy. Because bad guys are fucking gay.